fellow Yoruba compatriots, we wish to commend all our people who have remained steadfast after the last elections, which was characterized by massive irregularities and are judged by both foreign and local observers as very uncredible. We wish to emphatically say that the fact that a Yoruba man was announced as a winner of such flawed elections has not and will not quench the flame of our liberation struggle. In fact, more than ever before, we remain resolute and more determined in the struggle for our liberation. Fellow Yoruba compatriots, before I go on to address the main issue at stake, please permit me to refresh our memory as I quote a statement credited to Sir Ahmadu Bello, Premier of the Northern Region, a few days after Nigeria's independence in 1960. I quote, "The new nation called Nigeria should be an estate of our grandfather, Uthman Dan Fodio, as a conquered territory. We must ruthlessly prevent a change of power. We must use the minorities of the North and the willing tools in the South and never allow their future." Fellow Yoruba compatriots, having refreshed our memory, let me state here that our attention has also been drawn to a recent statement credited to the Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, in which he advanced reasons why certificate of origin should be replaced with certificate of residence. The statement was alleged to have been made at an event in Plateau State on the 17th of April 2023. In the report, the Vice President decried the spate of frightening divisive tendencies, which according to him was responsible for the backwardness in the nation. Osinbajo went on to cite examples of Singapore, Tanzania, and Rwanda as nations that effectively managed their diversities, advising Nigeria to take a cue from them. According to him, the country's diversity ought to be a blessing and not a curse. He added that Nigeria had the potential to be a great nation, but only when the cankerworm of division was collectively fought. In his words, Nigeria's diversities should not be a burden, but a blessing. Fellow Yoruba compatriots, let me at this point try to juxtapose Ahmadu Bello's 1960 statement to Osinbajo's recent statement, or rather his campaign for unity. While Ahmadu Bello's statement, though short, was the most callous and unpatriotic statement for a young country, it was full of venom and arrogant assertions. He opined that willing tools from the South will be used to achieve their evil agenda. The question then is, who are these willing tools? Osinbajo's statement, on the other hand, is that of someone trying to please his paymasters at the detriment of his own people. His role clearly suggests that he is one of the willing tools to help the Fulani achieve their evil agenda of conquest. Osinbajo's role in the Ruga saga is worthy of mention here. In 2019, President Buhari was in Cairo, Egypt, where he canvassed for the opening of borders in Africa to allow Africans to move freely within the continent. For many years, southern borders were closed to the extent of preventing goods from coming in, which led to untold hardship on our people and the southern economy, while Fulanis from French-speaking countries of Chad, Mali, Niger, and so on had free and unchallenged entry into Nigeria and finding their way to the southern forests, towns, and cities with singular purpose of the conquest agenda. Suffice to know that many of these foreign elements now have Nigeria's national identity, NIN, and voters' cards. One therefore wonders to whose advantage is Osinbajo's policy of replacing certificate of origin with certificate of residence. Your guess is as good as mine. Osinbajo also cited some countries such as Singapore, Tanzania, and Rwanda, where their diversity was effectively managed. My response to this is, was there a conquest agenda from any of the sections of those countries as the Fulanis have here in Nigeria? Let me at this point suggest that Osinbajo should first initiate policies that will rid our forests, villages, and cities of foreign Fulanis brought in preparation for conquest agenda before suggesting his certificate of residency policy. 2. Stop the outgoing Buhari government from conducting any census at the 11th hour, which is part of the Fulani agenda. The implication of this 11th hour census is to pave way for the Fulani conquest agenda, whereas Osinbajo's policy would have been a welcome idea if we had an ideal society. I would like to suggest that the implementation of such policy should start from the northern and eastern part of Nigeria as a test run, since the West is already known for its hospitality and accommodation of strangers. In conclusion, fellow Yoruba compatriots, how long are we going to play the fool to the Fulani? We need to vehemently resist these obnoxious last-minute evil policies of the outgoing Buhari administration. It is part of their conquest agenda. Yoruba need to wake up and take their destinies in their own hands. More than ever before, we need to be more resolute and determined in our quest for self-determination and self-rule. God bless the Yoruba race.